Okay, so we haven't done an energy forecast for a minute, but this time we're pre-recording it so that we can share it widely on different platforms. It will be uploaded to, you'll see it through the link Oracle Sofya, but the reading will be done by myself and Sarah of Epiphany of Divinity. Also that name on Instagram and Facebook. So look her up and take part in a magical experience, energy. So,
Thank you.
yeah, so because it's going to be on my channel, I say welcome to my channel. So that anyone who watches my channel knows who you are. So if you I've introduced you my way, but you can introduce yourself in your way.
Oh, right. So my name is Sarah. I go by the name of Epiphany of Divinity. I am a Reiki practitioner, although there are other healing modalities that I host. A very kind of premature, I guess, medium to a degree, because that definitely is linked with Reiki, an accidental psychic, and some way, somehow, I've ended up here doing a fortnightly forecast energy reading, which feels right, you know, and yeah, it's very exciting to be in this space with you, be on your channel right now, and I look forward to what comes from this. Obviously, we've done it on Instagram a few times, or more than a few times, and that's been really nice to experience. And it's been lovely actually to see other channelers reflecting the same kind of energies in different spaces. So to be here now on a different platform is very exciting. So I look forward to what comes through this evening, you know, for the collective.
That sounds like what mediums say when they're about to do a mediumship demo. I'm looking forward to what comes through, which means multiple spirits at that point.
Well, you never know, actually, you know, I host plenty, so you'll be surprised. I'm definitely several different personalities at any one time, so that may be the case, absolutely.
The two mediums, the spirits are probably lining up behind both of us going, do we get to talk? Yeah, so the way we usually do these as lives on Instagram, and the way we do it usually is that Sarah has written down, she channels the information and writes it down and gives it in the live. So obviously this is a recorded one, so I feel like that format works. So let's go with that format, and I pass it to you.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I wanted to start with, we did have an attempt to come into this space last week, and it wasn't successful. But since we are this week, I thought that I'd bring the energy reading from last week, because I feel like it follows through into this, and then move on to the coming fortnight. So what I have noticed and what has been delivered to me is the awakening and the arising of the divine feminine energy inside all of us. So that's literally like truth, justice, reciprocity, harmony, all of those really beautiful kind of energies that we are now in a space of awareness. And it's not just feminine or females that are experiencing this energy. It's also a male energy too. There's a lot more feeling that's taking place at the moment. And this rise in feeling is a true reflection of who you are right now. So we are coming into a space of a more openness and more expression, which is great, obviously, because what we've got occurring tomorrow is very big for our nationally, you know, but also the summer is a very creative time for a lot of people. On the other side of that, there will be a lot of testing, and those tests will be presented by friends and family foremost. I would suggest that there are no extravagant purchases at this point in time. Financially, it's very important to remain quite frugal. The post-shadow phase, which kind of ended last week, really, was this feeling of like a whole new world, you know, a whole new version of self, and that everything now looks different. So we are really in a space of analysing what sits well with us and what doesn't. What stands out and what is more apparent, and that's interesting that I wrote this last week because it's also coming out this week as well, that the lies are more apparent now, that cognitive dissonance is coming into a place of dissemination. You know, we're breaking down the dissonance that exists inside us for a purpose of revelation, personal and collective, actually, community-based revelation. And even though it's a social time, there's inner work that is still being carried out. So if your energy feels a little bit spent, that's because, you know, you're still kind of inculcating all of these new thoughts and feelings that are coming through, and you're reassessing and kind of sieving through and leaving behind the debris of the end of Mercury retrograde and that big shift into a new energy. Guides and spirit advisors will be visiting regularly to help you through and help you navigate your new energies. Sorry, there's so much in this one. This was last week's. I haven't got to this week's yet, so I apologise in advance. It's really important that you get still enough to receive what's coming in. Pay attention to any heightened sensitivities, because these may be the new gifts or new frequencies that you have come into that you're aware of. Nature is man's natural mind medicine, and now we are internally and externally in bloom. Be brave, take risks, and truly reclaim a version of your life that offers fulfillment. And the only catch is you're about to feel it all, the good, the bad, and the amazing, but you're going to feel it so deeply. So the guidance for last week was safety, anticipation, collaboration, peace. Empaths were guided to protect themselves, and rituals were really important. Rituals, crystals, and what was that? Something about creating a ring around you, basically. So when you're out in public, making sure that you are highly protective, you know, and being conscious of going through that process every time you leave your house. This week, again, stillness came up, and it was more so about what does it feel like when you are still? Are you comfortable, or is there a niggling feeling somewhere that's existing inside you? It was brought into this space for us to explore it, you know, locate it, explore it, write about it if you need to, tell someone about it. And I know that you've mentioned talking to people, but yeah, it's really, that is definitely an important aspect, to share that feeling. If you are the someone who is listening, listen twice and speak once. So really activate those listening skills, really get deeply connected with the person. And a lot of the time, it's not that that person is sharing that with you to seek a solution. They just wish to be heard, you know, they just wish to be acknowledged in this space. Using your discernment, which is a superpower. What feels right now, who feels right and who doesn't, you know, the gap between those that have ascended, or those who are ascending, and those who aren't, is becoming huge. And you may find yourself departing from anything that feels false or requires you to maintain falseness because it's too uncomfortable. The last shadow work period was focused on self, and this one is based on the impact of others and how they support you or block you from your attainment. Sorry, I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
That's fine.
You will need time out. You will, even though we're in this period of heightened excitement, time out is essential. And it will feel strange and conflicting given the circumstances, because many energies will be celebrating, but actually there will be, especially for empaths, there will be time where you need to pull away. The influx of energies may feel chaotic, and you must make time to return to stillness. Don't hold on for change from people. You may think that it's the right thing to do, or they are hold on a minute. Yeah, you may think it's the right thing to do, But actually, they're moving further and further away from what you are and who you are becoming. So just allow things to be, accept if people feel, if the shift has meant that someone has moved further away from you, don't kind of accommodate them anymore. You know, you either meet in that space of alignment or you don't, and that's okay, you know. And the guidance was to celebrate the small wins, practice discipline, drink water, rest often, live in gratitude, listen to what is being presented to you and by who. So that was it. That's my
It makes total sense.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Especially as we're coming out of Cancer in the next few days, into the Leo season. So Cancer is it's very like more in the emotions, but more of the hermit than the Leo. But you gotta remember, lions sleep for something like 17 hours a day, something like that. So people don't think in Leo you have to be all out there and gregarious and rah. You make targeted times to do something, but like Sarah said, take the time to rest. So when you are in action, it's targeted and intentional and focused. And when you're not, rest. If you haven't got a purpose at that moment, rest. Don't just do things for the sake of it in this time. It's not good.
Yeah.
So for me, what's been coming up a lot is, as it's been over a year, is love. Get into that heart space. Now, in the Leo season, it would be easy to get into your headspace and get into what you've got to be in control of, that you've got to be the best of things and everything. But this is the time still of getting into your heart space. So fight that need for the ego with telling you it's not the time. Like Sarah said, don't make big purchases, don't make big decisions, don't make big, massive life decisions that are just about the head, something what you feel is logical. Put it into the heart space and decide what you need to do with it then, because it could turn out head decisions are not the way forward at this present time. They're not really the way forward anyway, but as humans have been programmed to think from our head. But if you get into your heart space and make decisions from there, it's a time where more opportunities will come for you. But you don't have to be the lion about them, because they will come to you just because you're operating from your heart space. So keep that focus. The saying is, one door closes, another door opens. So it feels like a time where people will be closing the door on some relationships, a time where people will be closing the door on some situations we've been in. So it's time to maybe talk to the universe about if any contracts with people are no longer in your higher good, can the universe or your ancestors or your guides, whatever you attribute the power to, can they help you to close the door and do it with unconditional love, and have any energy that needs returning to you, return. But when you call back your energy, only call back energy that is not in your highest good. Call it back and transmute it. Do not call back energy that is in the middle of doing something positive for you, because on your timelines there'll be manifestation energy going on. You don't want to be calling that back. You want to be letting that still do its work. So be intentional in your language when you want to try and never cut cords, weed them out. So when you want to weed out cords from relationships with people, if you want to ask the universe to end contracts with anyone who's no longer in your highest good, or at the moment they're not, the universe can help you do that. But opportunities will come up. There's going to be a lot of distractions. Going to be a lot of distractions. And in the UK, let's say, so the day tomorrow where supposedly a normality is supposed to return. Don't be upset or stressed or surprised when it doesn't feel like normal. Don't be upset or stressed or surprised when people don't seem that high energy and high vibrancy, given the fact that it's what it is. there's an underlying energy to all this that isn't so positive. So don't get distracted by it. Don't get caught up in it. Just focus on your heart space, focus on you. Don't get into the angry, roaring lion. Get into more the mother lion, the protective, but focused. Get into that space, not the, you don't have to go for the prey at the moment. You don't have to go for anyone's neck. Just do what you need to do. The solar plexus is going to be an energy that is going to, that's where people are going to feel rumbles in your solar plexus. It has been for the last how long, your sacral and your root. It's almost like we're going through a slow collective kundalini rising. Absolutely. So we've been in the lows and people have felt stomach issues, leg issues, hip issues. Now we're going to go into the solar. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it'll be the solar and heart, but it will be solar first. So you might feel like rumbles in your lower chest, upper stomach. You might feel uncomfortability, but just let it work for itself. Work with it, talk to it, ask it what it needs. Wear yellow if you need to, eat yellow if you need to, think of yellow if you need to. Just get that. Go out in the sun, get the yellow sun and channel it into your solar plexus. But this is that energy now. And your solar plexus is spiritual. A lot of mediums say that that's where the spiritual energy comes through their solar plexus when they give readings. So that is a very important, very, very important energy center. And I believe that it's masculine. The sacral is feminine and the solar plexus is masculine. And it's an important time right now for us to focus on healing the masculine within us and the people who identify themselves as masculines, like maybe bored male or identify as that energy to heal in them. But so it's all of us who have to heal it in us, but some people have more of an expression of it that needs to be healed, because the divine feminine has been doing, it's going to be unpopular, but the divine feminine has been doing a lot of work for a long time. Not all, because not all feminines are see themselves or in this lifetime are supposed to be divine feminine, same as masculines. It's not the same thing. But those who do, it's important now to make sure that you're working on that so it's not wounded masculine energy. So it's divine masculine. Last thing, that's the last thing. Just make sure that you're making the right moves and choices. Feel for everything. Feel for everything. Because being in your head at the moment is going to cause anxiety. Be honest with yourself as to what something feels like in your body when you're about to make a choice. Be honest when you speak. When you say something, what does it feel like? When you're about to say something, what does it feel like? When you're about to post something, what does it feel like? When you're about to express anything right now, examine it with your heart first, because I am telling you for sure that the time now is whatever comes out of your mouth. It's like the universe straight away goes, all right, let's test that one then. And this has been happening for a while, but it's super fast now. Yeah. And the universe was giving people 1 or 2 days grace before, and now it's like, oh. And if you're posting complete things online that are troublesome, energy, vampire stuff, if you're exposing people for stuff just from a bad energy way, let me tell you, you are setting yourself up for what you're doing to other people. That's the energy of now. So you have to be honest with yourself every time you go to post something. Is it in alignment with your heart? If it's not in alignment with your heart and you still do it, then please do not play the violin when what happens to you is what you've done to other people. life, all people have always talked about karma. This is different to karma. This is real cause and effect. Like, you did it, you know that you're doing it, and it's a bang straight away. Karma can take into another lifetime. This ain't into another lifetime. This is like bang. There you go. So,
yeah, and it's interesting as well, you know, sometimes people don't actually weigh that up. They don't think, oh, that's related to me being an absolute twat there, you know, and a lot of the time it is, you know. And if you can be honest with yourself, you know, if you can be honest with yourself and you say, yeah, I didn't handle that really well, and now I can quite see how I'm in this very similar position now, then you can make the connections. You don't have to keep doing it. But unfortunately, we may be in a time and space where, I don't know, because people have got so comfortable with the gap of karma, or so comfortable with the gap of cause and effect, maybe they're not up on the fact that it's happening immediately now, and how powerful that can be, you know, at this time.
Definitely. And this time, as everyone who watches me will know, Chiron retrograde. That's in its swing. It started on the 15th of July, ends on the 19th of December. Chiron has sat with Aries, sat like little buddies since 2018. So they've got very familiar with each other. That's why Chiron is in Aries. As we know, Aries is very like a forceful fire. It's a fire sign. It's fixed. So it's not like Sagittarius that's mutable and can change to fit. Aries is what it is. Like Aries and Leo are what they are. So Aries, but because of Aries the way it is, sometimes the things that they wouldn't want to seem weak about will be hidden away. And that's why this feels like a very deep shadow time. Now, a lot of us who let the universe take hold of us for shadow work are very familiar with this feeling. We're very familiar with the universe dredging up the stuff. Other people do shadow work exercises and do things for themselves, so they might not be so familiar with the universe pulling that up for them. Chiron is called the wounded healer, is the centaur, but in mythology is the wounded healer, in Greek mythology. And he could not heal himself. He could heal everyone but himself. And this is the energy of right now, like who are you getting your help from? And if you are a healer, a reader, a light worker, who are you going to? That's the energy of Chiron. Who are you going to? And you have to now open up to somebody else, whether that's a shadow work partner, a therapist or a healer or whatever. There's things now that you can't do on your own. You need to actually talk your honesty about them things that you've hidden away. You don't have to go around telling everyone your business. That's not even the point. But start being honest about what comes up. So like me and Sarah, that we're the type of people we will have conversations, and we're naturally doing that partnered shadow work, even though we didn't call it that. We're doing it because we'll talk about our lives and things that we might have felt a bit ouchy about before, but we know that there's no judgment, and that's the type of person you've got to find to do it with.
And obviously we've got something really lovely up and coming as well, you know, to create space. Yeah, to create space for people who are going through the process and need that kind of support. So more on that later. But yeah, it's really it's very exciting.
Like, you sounded like Bridget Jones then.
More on that later.
Back to you in the studio.
I felt like it as well.
The fire pole.
I felt like it. But yeah, it's essential that those spaces are held, but also that people understand how to hold those spaces. It's very difficult sometimes when you present an issue and people want to give you a solution or say that's just how it is, or you know, like it's really a sensitive time when people open up to things that they're carrying, and the inappropriate language is used, because it's almost like people can recoil back into their shell, or they can feel that their issue is diminished in some way, or they can feel like they haven't been heard. And just learning how to create that really healthy dialogue and watching it being modeled is important. You know, it really is, to actually witness people having truthful conversations that make everybody feel uncomfortable sometimes, you know, but are extremely necessary.
I feel like we do that well, like in our readings, and as we have the Divine Tribe, which is on Instagram, the _ divine _ tribe _ channel on Instagram, and we sometimes go live on a Tuesday evening, usually 8, but we did 9 last week because we can. But we have them candid, open, sometimes uncomfortable, itchy conversation, but in doing it, we hold ourselves accountable for the words we speak as well, and that's what we're talking about. Whatever you put out there and declare, you are declaring that's the truth for you. And that is a very important aspect right now. And like Sarah said, be mindful, because some people, you share your vulnerability, and vulnerability is a superpower. If you share that with the wrong person, it can make vulnerability feel like a disability. It can make it feel like it's crippled you, like just took you down. So be careful, make sure you are vibing with your tribe, that you've raised your vibration enough that the people around you are only the people who you could share that stuff with, and use discernment for those who may still be around you, that might be family or whatever, who are still around because they're family, but not because of the people to share.
And you'll know as well, you'll know, because you know what it feels like when you're sharing that with that someone and they say something and you just go, oh, you know, like, you'll know that feeling. And it's really nice, you know, maybe not in that moment when you're feeling like you need to share, but at some point in time to say, that language doesn't help me, you know, just to acknowledge for yourself, or like, I think it would be really helpful to do that, but also to know that maybe that's not the person you go to for that, you know, and that's okay too, you know. It might be great at lots of other things.
You may as well want to reintroduce yourself to people. That just come into my head. You may find on reintroducing yourself that there's more people that you vibe with than you think. Because people may still be holding you in the space that you used to be, and if you reintroduce yourself, there might be more people who are attracted to you for the honesty of you declaring where you're at now. It's important. But for the way the energy is, I think the reading has been more, I think it's, I don't, you know, it could have been, it could have gone negative because the energy, but I feel it's guidance. And if you follow the guidance, it will be good. It's anyone who just ignores this now and just thinks, I'll be all right, I'll be all right, I'll be all right. Yeah, the spiritual complacency and falseness in a lot of people. I did a video about it earlier this week, that people adorn themselves sometimes in all the spiritual regalia. You know, like they do the big earrings and the head wraps and stuff and look the part. But their energy signature is speaking for itself more than ever now. And along with people declaring stuff, they're going to be the people who have to stand accountable for what they said.
Not just people who have said mean things, you know. It's not just about people who have said mean things at all. It's about anything that you have said that you are, you know, having to live up to that, whatever it is. And it doesn't mean that you have to do it forever, eternally, the end. It literally means that when this situation comes into your space and you have given the guidance, then you too have to take that guidance and follow it through, or learn the lesson and then release the new guidance, you know. And that's what we're doing, you know, eternally. We're doing that, you know.
And learn that if your guidance has guided people incorrectly, learn to just say that, like, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Like, the energy felt like this at the time. Because people would be wrong and strong in this, but if you've got a big platform and there's thousands of people who are following your guidance and you're not actually channeling it from anywhere, it's just your opinion, there'll be accountability that will have to be explained. So just be careful, people. Just only say what you mean. There's a lot of people just sprouting things out their mouth. And it's been a big thing, especially in the UK over the last week, people saying stuff, getting it off their chest, but because it's a low vibrational and it's not helping anyone, they're creating a problem for themselves. Anyone who co-signs it also is. So that's another thing. Even if you don't say something, be careful who you're co-signing.
Yes.
Who you're supporting. Because that tells who you are as well. So yeah.
I think that's plenty of guidance, to be fair.
Definitely.
I think it definitely cover a good few weeks. I mean, if we're inclined to do it again next week and we have some more stuff, I'm definitely open to it. But
we'll go on whatever feels right. There might be something that comes up in this week that needs an energy reading for the guidance. So we are always spiritually guided. We go on what feels energetically right. Like Sarah said last week, we had a reading prepared, but the energy was just not. I think it was the day we was having a big football match in the UK, and the UK energy was very drawn to all that, and it wasn't the time to do this. But today was the right day. I don't think tomorrow would have been, so we've got it just right now. So thank you, Sarah, for joining me on this journey in general, because of you. She's like, do it, so. No, actually, I'll do it with you then, so you do it. Like. And now look at us, here we are, months later. Yes. So thank you for joining on the channel today.
Thank you.
And yeah, obviously if you're watching this, it's been uploaded. And yeah, we're going to do this again, and we've got projects in the pipeline. We'll be doing community talks. Got some exciting community talks, what we'll record on Zoom with other people as well.
Yes.
We've got projects thinking of doing late night talks, everything. So watch this space. Like, we didn't come here to play.
No. Oh, I've got one last piece of guidance. Find an accountability partner. Do it. Just for this period of time, you know. If you say you're going to do something, find someone that's going to guide you with that, you know. Best thing, accountability partner. Even if it happens in the most natural way, that's awesome, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely important, especially if you know he's someone who doesn't get stuff done.
Yeah. No, what you do is you find an accountability partner that also doesn't get stuff done. So you just both don't get stuff done together, and then you just go, oh, it's cool, I didn't feel like it anyway. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. We'll do it another time, you know. It's cool.
That's the kind of accountability partner I need.
Yeah. Whatever works, you know, whatever works. You don't want someone who's going to be like, you said you was going to do this and you didn't do it. You really, I don't know. Maybe you do. I definitely know I don't.
No, I don't need that type of person.
Yeah, it's nice. I think that
about 2 days.
when things come together and they're beautiful, that's exactly what they are, you know, and you know who that person is for you. So tap in with them and see if they can share some stuff about what it is that they are wanting, you know, or moving towards, and hold each other up in that direction, you know.
Yeah. If you build a good relationship, you could help each other with manifestation partners or anything. Build that relationship, and that works well with Chiron energy as well. You be doing the things with somebody else.
Collaborative, yeah. Collaborative work. Yeah.
Collaborative. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, this has been lovely.
It has. It's beautiful.
Definitely. So yeah, we'll see you all soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, that is